What's going on, guys? Cordy here, and welcome back to another Paragon video. In today's video, we're going to be going over GRIM. GRIM is the GRIM.EXE. He's the most recent character for Paragon The Overprime. He is an original character from OG Paragon. They did change him up to be a caster. I think in OG Paragon, he was mainly played as a ranger. But in this game, they're going to be playing him as a caster. He has two main damaging abilities. It's a fairly simple kit. Two main damaging abilities, a slow, a shield. Very, very simple design. But really good. He just like on the day that he was released, or sorry, the next day that he got released, he was already nerfed. Pretty strong coming over from Paragon. Well, let's go into his kit, see his abilities, and how to level up GRIM. All right, so GRIM's first ability is going to be Q, Displacement Blast. This ability is a really short cooldown. You're going to lob a blast in a radius. It's going to explode and do damage. It's going to also knock back enemies from the center of that blast. Second ability is going to be his E, Suppression Mode. This ability, you're going to toggle. It's a toggle on and off. Whenever you have it toggled on, every attack that you do to an enemy is going to consume mana, but it's also going to slow that target per second. So you can keep it on and auto attack to peel for yourself or to catch up, and then you'll toggle it off so you don't waste any more mana. GRIM's basic attack, fairly simple. Nothing special there about a basic attack. GRIM's right click, the Deflector Shield. This ability allows you to absorb any skill attack from an enemy. You can block the damage. You can also block the CC. It'll last for 1.5 seconds, and if you do successfully block an ability, you're going to recover some mana from blocking that ability. And then GRIM's second damaging ability is Ultimate, the Tracking Orb. You're going to fire an orb that chases down anybody. It could go through walls. Get the lock onto them before they go behind cover. If you get them locked on and you use your ult, even if they go behind cover, it'll go through the walls and do damage to them. I think right now the only thing that is going to stop the tracking orb is that you can body block it. So if you're really low and your teammate jumps in front, they can body block the shot, body block the ult. Or if a steel puts his wall up, it can block that as well. I haven't tried Decker yet, but I'm pretty sure Decker's wall should block it, as well as Aurora wall as well. They should be blocking these abilities. But yeah, fairly simple kit for GRIM. Let's go ahead and go into the leveling order and see you how I level up GRIM. Okay, so for the leveling order for GRIM, your main damaging ability is going to be your Q. It does a lot of damage. It's going to do more damage early game than your ult is. Whenever your ult late game, it'll get more scaling. It'll be able to do more damage, but early game, your Q is going to do the most. It's also on a really, really low cooldown. Whenever you get a couple of cooldown items, it'll be 4, maybe 3 seconds, you can get this ability off multiple times. It's kind of crazy, but it does a lot of damage. So Q is going to be the first ability you're going to level up. After that, you're going to level up your right click. That way you can deflect any kind of ability. If you're landing against somebody and they use an ability on you, you can use your deflect shield to absorb it and get some mana while also just negating the damage. From there, I'm usually going to go into my Q again. You can lower the cooldown on it. You can also do a little bit more damage. Then from there, we're going to level up the suppression mode, get that leveled up. And then from here, you're going to max out your Q first. Q is going to be top priority. Then your ultimate whenever you can. Your second ability you're going to level up is going to be the Deflector Shield. Then again, the ultimate whenever you can. And from there, once you have your Q max out, then you're going to start maxing out your right click first. Your E is going to be the last thing that you want to level up. Your ultimate whenever you can. And then your E is going to be the finishing. Whenever you level up your right click, you're going to lower the cooldown on it. That way you can get it up more often. You're going to also increase the mana that you take. And then same thing, the ultimate, you'll be doing more damage and lowering the cooldown. So the E is going to be the last ability that you want to level up. All right, so now jumping into the build. How to build GRIM. So right now the items changed a lot. The starter items are going to be changing. They did some nerfs to some items. They revamped some items. And they got rid of passive. So this build is really early on. I haven't really had a lot of testing, but from what I've played, this is what's been really successful and what I really have been going to when I keep playing GRIM. I kind of go back to this build for him. So at level 1, whenever you start, you're going to get 500 gold. I go into a rechargeable health potion and then a branch of world tree. You're going to have 75 gold left over. We're just going to keep that gold in pocket. That way we carry over to finish off our first item. The first item I'm going to build into is Embodiment of Vengeance. Now with GRIM, he is, because like OG Paragon, he was mainly a ranger. He would have a lot of, his basic attack is pretty high for a caster. He has more attack speed than all the other casters aside from Wraith. But I think in this game, Wraith is classified as a ranger anyways. but he has high attack speed, so Embodiment of Vengeance does work really nice with him. That way you can clear a lot quicker. You can have constant poke whenever your abilities are on cooldown. You can have that extra damage just to do out because you only have 2 damaging abilities. Your ult is on the longer cooldown with 22 seconds. I think 24 at level 1. And your Q has a longer cooldown as well. So having Embodiment of Vengeance allows you to do a little bit more damage while you're waiting for your cooldowns. Second item that we're going to go to is Bells of Purification. This item is just really cheap. You get 60 power, 10 pen, 10 CDR. Having CDR is really good for Grim. Having CDR is just really good for casters in general. But having it on Grim with your basic attacks and your abilities, your lock-on ability, your displacement ball that you can toss out, you're constantly get this passive stacking that we can get a lot of power on it. So Bells of Purification is a really good item. Second item I go to is Witch's Shoe. Witch's Shoe is going to give you 90 power, which is great. 10 CDR, again, CDR is really good. The passive, whenever you do damage with an ability, you're going to do damage equal to 20% of magical power plus an additional 120 bonus magical damage. And that's going to be on a 12-second cooldown. So with your ultimate, you can lead in with your ultimate sometimes. Your ultimate, whenever your ult is up, you lead in with it. You can lock on. It has a pretty good distance as well. You can lead in with your ultimate to get that burst on Witch's Shoe. Even your Q is a really low cooldown. And it does great damage. Having Witch's Shoe on any one of those abilities could give you a good burst of damage, like right off the gate. So Witch's Shoe is a really good pick. And of course, again, doubling that CDR with Bells and Witch's Shoe is really good. Now from here, there's 2 options you can go into. At this stage of the game, if the enemy team is starting to build magical defense or they're pretty tanky, then you'll go into Alchema Blaster. That way you can get that defense solidification. That way you can do damage to that frontliner that's diving you. If the enemy team is behind or if they're squishy, then I would go into a Rampaging Toto, just getting more power. So that way your abilities can do a lot more damage. Pretty simple there. And then I would swap out either one depending on how the enemy team is building. So the last item that we're going to pick up, the 6th item, the item that I have here is Mathematician's Intro to Architecture. This right here, it gives you 100 power, which is really great. Gives you some lifesteal, which is pretty good, but also 10 CDR. Again, more CDR the better. 40% is going to be the cap, so this is 30% here with this cooldown. But with Mathematicians, because your abilities have that cooldown, with every time you only have 2 damaging abilities. So with your Q or with your ult, whenever you're cycling between, you're always going to get this proc of Mathematicians. So whenever you get those stacks and you get that big damaging ability, whether it be on your Q or your ult, it's going to proc Mathematicians and do a lot of burst damage on that one ability. So because how you cycle between your abilities, Mathematicians is a really good pickup last. I don't get it early because it is a little bit more expensive. Also, you want to get kind of more, either defense, nullification, or you just want to get a big burst of damage. But Mathematicians is a really good pick. 6th item. Now, if you feel like you're fine on damage, you're doing enough damage, you're not really worried about that. And then survivability might be better. Getting Blue Heart is really good. You get 80 power. You're gonna get 10 CDR, which is great. But you're gonna you're gonna block a shield. You already have a shield to block with Grim. This is gonna give you another one. So if you get hit with an ability, Blue Heart will take that ability, and then whenever they follow up with another ability, you can have your right click to block that as well. So this will make it really difficult for Grim to get kind of locked down whenever you're predicting those 2 main damaging abilities that are just set up. So if you feel like you need to go into defense mode because you already have enough damage, it's fine. You just need to survive. Then I would definitely go into Blue Heart. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for Grim. I mean, he's really simple. He's a simple caster, not too difficult. A couple of tips I do recommend is putting the Q ability on normal cast, because how the arc works, you can really, it has a lot of distance. You can get a lot of range on that, but it's really hard to figure out with that range. So having it on normal cast, that way you can click it and then see where the line is at and then click it again. I really recommend doing that way. I normally play on Instacast, but having it on normal cast is really useful for Grim. But yeah, that is it for Grim. Let me know what you guys think about him. I personally think he's really strong. They nerfed him at day number 2. He got released, and the next day they nerfed him. So he's really strong. He has really good poke in lane, and his cooldowns are pretty low on his Q. So we'll see if he's going to get nerfed again. I feel like he might be getting nerfed again. He seems a little too strong when I've been playing him. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Everyone take care, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.